Hey, happy Friday, everyone. I hope you had a great 4th of July. I hope you got some time to rest and relax and recuperate. I look a little bit crazy today. I've been out and about here, there, and everywhere and in the sun. So let's just focus on the fact that we're talking about money today. First, if you don't know me, I'm Dominique Anderson. I am principal consultant at Populous Community Strategy, where we empower communities to be thriving, right? We support real estate developers, nonprofits, and municipalities to do the work they do in real estate development. We like to make affordable housing, attainable workforce housing show up, or other community focused real estate. And so we support those processes. Today, I want to talk about community focused developers, developers of color, and the money that's earmarked specifically for them. How do you do this work? How are you a passionate, emerging, or small scale developer? And where's the money that's focused on you that you don't have to have all of this experience? You don't have to have a $200 million project. There's a lot of caveats to getting this money. And then why do we need a focus on developers of color? In the real estate investment space, 5% of capital goes to developers of color, right? And so diverse developers, whether that's Black, Latino, Native, Indigenous communities and developers, there is a lack of capital, and there's also a high level that of expectation that may be a little bit different than other communities, right? And so I want to focus on 6 places and 6 pots of money to go get this capital. The number one is the American South Real Estate Fund. And it is mezzanine debt, preferred equity, and equity financing for real estate projects located in emerging low and moderate income neighborhoods in 10 southern states. By the way, all the links are below in the caption. So go down, look for the links. I wouldn't by any means just give you these and not give you links. So that's number one, American South Real Estate Fund. Also, I said a couple things in there. If you are a knob, if you're absolutely new to this, but you think you want to be a developer, or you want to be a developer and you're just starting this work, a couple things in there. Mezzanine debt, preferred equity, equity financing. This video is not about definitions of types of funding or defining those funds. So I'll make another one and I'll share that out with all the definitions, but also you can Google it, or there's 1,000 videos on YouTube that have those terms. But I just want you to know where the pots of money are. American South Real Estate Fund. Number two, access. It's a fund from the Community Preservation Corporation. It's a multi-million-dollar initiative, and it gives financial resources, capacity building, technical assistance to entrepreneurs of color, right? Which includes developers, and that's really focused on entry into the real estate development market. And so, they're building access to capital, thus the name access, but also access to knowledge and assistance that's needed to really stand this work up. Number three, the Black Developer Capital Initiative. So it was launched by LIF, LIIF, again, link below, and also Google LIF, to support Black-led affordable housing developers. It's important that we have a focus on diverse, affordable housing developers. We have to put it together because why is that important? Developers of color are going to go into communities that they look like or they're from, and they're going to build housing that supports that community. You have a larger odds, if you will, on developers of color going to communities that look like them or that they're from and passionate about, and building housing that supports the people that are in that community. So, without having the strong track record and the big names behind them and the big projects, this initiative, this capital initiative, and LIF said, you know what, you may not have the record or the big capital or the big names behind you, but they've been systematically denied access to capital that would spur this growth. We can't talk about needing more affordable housing if we don't support it, right? So that's number 3, Black Developer Capital Initiative. Number 4, the Communities of Color Fund. And this is specific to Chicago. They have $25 million. It's a loan fund to support Black, Latino, and other business developers of color to do this work. And so they're definitely focused on Chicago's south and west sides and suburban markets that lack access to low-cost capital. It's a cycle. If you're trying to get into development, if you're working to get into development, and you really want to build something that's not a $200 million project, you want to get into this world, you want to get capital. You can't get capital because you don't have a track record. You don't have a track record because you can't get capital. If you have the technical assistance and capacity building, there's 1,000 programs that can teach you. There's at least 10 that I can think of that'll teach you how to be a developer. You can Google it. You can do it online to learn how to be a developer. The piece that's necessary is being funding ready and then being able to go get this capital. So, there's the barriers are being lowered so that people can get access to the capital that they need to do this work. Number 5, the Equitable Path Forward Growth Fund. It's a partnership between Enterprise Community Partners and Bank of America. And so it's a $350 million growth fund. And it'll attract an additional $3.1 billion of debt, equity, and grants. And so it provides, entry level and project level capital. So your pre-development and your other technical and capacity building needs, that's what this fund is for emerging and small scale developers. And then number 6 is the Growing Diverse Housing Developers. And so this was a CDFI, the Community Development Finance Institution partnership. It's 3 of them. So Capital Impact Partners, Low Income Investment Fund, and Reinvestment Fund came together and they put some money in a pot. And it's on behalf of, $30 million from Wells Fargo, right? So there's 6 pots of money that are now focused on creating diverse developers, almost always focused on affordable, attainable workforce housing, right? But affordable. And I won't get on my soapbox about why we need all these names to just build housing that people can afford without spending more than 30% of their income. But whatever makes people feel good, and it's not always projects. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to get on my soapbox, so let me jump down. That's 6 places that are saying, listen, if you're an emerging or small scale developer, we want to support you. Do you need a track record? Some sort of track record. Do you need good credit? You probably need to be bankable, right? You definitely need to be bankable. Here's the beauty of a lot of these funds and these sources. They're going to look at what you have and say, let's work together to get you to the place. It's not always a no, it's a not yet. Let's work through these, 2, 3, 4, 5 things and get you ready to access this capital. Let's let you understand how to deploy the capital, how to use this capital, how to use it throughout your project so that you're not going broke trying to build this and waiting on return capital, right? And so there's a lot of caveats, like things that you need to be prepared for. But the biggest opportunity here is that there's 6 and 5 if you're not in Chicago, right? Or if you're not in the South, and it changes. But if you're looking to come South or Chicago and South, there's 6 pots of money. This is by no means an exhaustive list. It's just a list, right? It's a start. It's a start to help you start thinking through, how do we get there? And guess what else? Because this is the work that I do and that we do at Populous. If you have questions, put them in the chat, reach out. Our information's there. Of course, subscribe, like this video, share this video, and ask questions and leave your thoughts. And with that, I will say I hope everyone has an amazing weekend, and ping me if you need me. Adios.